YouTube! I was talking about this in the live stream last night. I'm wearing the wrong t-shirt, really, haven't I? I'm going to put it there. So what we have here is a Samick Greg Bennet mini Les Paul, which is called an avion. I've just fitted locking tuners to it. And as I said in the live stream, it does have a Made in Indonesia sticker. So Samick being the big famous Korean company that made... I said that they made a third of all guitars in the 90s, but apparently it's more than that. I don't know, I need to look it up. They've now got an Indonesian factory as well. The serial number on this starts S12, so 2012, I would think. Probably. Yeah, so mini Les Paul. The scale length on it is, oh man, where's my tape measure? I'll just pause it. Sorry, tape measure was in the car. So it's I think there's a 20, a 19 and a 1/4 inch scale. So I've actually got a very similar guitar to this. I'm going to do a wee jam thing with the three of them, because the same guy gave me this has I was in getting the tuners changed. Give me a wee bass as well, so there's a mini P bass which I did Friday night, something like that, and I've actually got a wee V, which is basically this guitar, pretty sure, apart from, in fact, I think it's got a wrap over tailpiece if I remember correctly, but V-shaped. So with a scale length this short, you've got two choices really. One is you put 12s on it, not 10s or 9s, because it'll never tune. Or you set in standard tuning, or you tune it up to, I think it's quite common to tune it up to G sharp or A. So basically just, instead of being E, you just E, F, G sharp. It puts a bit more tension in it, because normal strings like 9s or 10s on this, the strings are just too loose, and there is a point where if a string doesn't have enough tension to ring properly, you can tune it, and then as soon as you touch it, it goes out of tune as soon as you go into any fret or anything like that. So basically you really have to, it's either 12s, which they sound like big thick strings, but because the tension's quite low, the tension's kind of quite similar to what you would expect on a normal guitar anyway, so it does work out. These things are not really that cheap. I do actually have a wee guitar sitting through next door, the wee, I don't know if you even get, does Argos even exist anymore? The wee mini ones, sort of kids one, it's got like a built-in speaker in it, and they're kinda not really meant to learn how to play on them, really. They're it's more of a toy, even though it looks like a guitar. You can make them work. I did one, I gave one to my girlfriend Civit's little sister, a purple stag one, which I don't even had a plastic bridge, but these are significantly better than your very basic ones. It does work. So it could be like a wee travel guitar, something like that. This, I mean, even unplugged, it's loud enough to practice with, or to play in the car or in a hotel room, or whatever it is you're travelling. And then maybe get like a wee, I've got a wee Black Star fly amp, something like that, or even just like a wee cheaper one, the wee Marshall MS2, MS1. Don't think they're expensive. I think you can pick them up for 10-15 quid on eBay second hand. It's that wee desktop thing, just basically makes it louder. I'm not trying to say it sounds, the wee Black Star fly does sound really actually pretty good. But it's not one. I've got quite a good wee amp. It's a Dean Markley, someone's painted orange. It's got like a belt clip on it, so you can kind of just have like a wee short patch lead, have it on your belt, and then just walk about and you can play it. It's pretty good. I like it. It's pretty much exactly the same as the wee Marshall one, apart from a bit cheaper because it doesn't say Marshall on it. But I think it's the same innards, the same guts as it. So I mean, it's like once you get up to these notes, frets are very, very close together, so big chunky bass playing fingers, not so good for it. But I mean, I've got it plugged into my Laney VC15 and a 3x12. Yeah, obviously. Got volume and a tone. I suppose I'll put in a wee backing track actually. What's you do get used to it very quickly. Kind of starting to get the hang of it there. Yeah, so and if you're going to, there's different reasons for getting a wee guitar like this. I would think. I suppose one of them is you're really small, and maybe, you know, this would definitely fit in your overhead compartment, you know, for like your studenty things. I suppose a party guitar would be fantastic. If I was going for buying a beginner's guitar, I mean, I think this might even be more expensive than like the Squier Bullet Mustang, which is kind of one of my favourite guitars. It's, what did I say, this was 19.5, it's like 22-inch scale, I think, which is a little bit bigger, which means it can take normal strings, and okay, it's a little bit longer. It doesn't take as much to adjust to playing that though. I mean, a 22-inch, you can sort of, when you first play it, you go, oh, this is a short scale, isn't it? This one, it's like you're, oh, and it takes a little bit, and you can't, you noticed me there when I was bending notes, the amount, you have to rein it in, because you could if you bend it the same amount, like physically, as you would on a normal guitar, you can go up about 20 notes. You know? But it might do things, you know, your reach, it can be different. So maybe if you've got really small hands and you're struggling playing, like, you know, your status quo, you know, it's quite a big reach. This one, obviously, I can get from the 5th, it's like 5th to the 12th. So you might find it will open up different avenues, and maybe you might play different things that you can't normally, are normally out with the range of what your fingers can actually reach. So I mentioned this, I was talking about Greg Bennet last night. You know, it's a Greg Bennet design. He was at one point he was the guy who was the sales rep for Washburn guitars in the early 80s. And then he's a sort of one of your, I mentioned this in the bass video, he's like kind of one of your Alan Entwistle or Trevor Wilkinson guys who design these things from an Asian factory. The tuners that were on it were fine. to be honest, some people love locking tuners, but they don't really do anything for me. It didn't really make it any neck heavier. Well, it's so small and it's so light, there's not really, the neck heaviness doesn't really come into it. You know, you've got your hand on it anyway. Yeah, so later on in the week, I think actually once I've done this, I probably won't put it out tonight, but I'll probably do a wee video of the three of them, and you know, the Flying V, this, and the P bass, and get a wee jam along going. The Flying V's mine, which I took to Download Festival and played it in the tent at the campsite, and it did great. It's just, it comes down to, because they're quite expensive. Basically, I think, see, for a travel guitar, I would just buy like a wee Spanish acoustic, like a wee cheap one, so that if it does break or someone steals it, or you just can't be bothered carrying it, you know, if you pay 20 quid for it or something like that. Because the thing about the nylon strings is, the guitar doesn't have to be very good for it to sound alright, so you can get like a really cheapy, smallish bodied nylon string guitar and it kind of sounds alright. Obviously it'll never do proper, you know, this you can't plug it into an amp and play gigs with it and stuff like that, but I just feel it's something like this, because it's really nice and quite expensive, and when I say quite expensive, my term is like, if £100, that's a lot of money. You know, it's not the sort of thing I would want to forget about, or someone to stand on or something like that. I'd be pretty upset at that. 20 quid, it's like, well, okay, I can sort of handle that. Not that I would leave 20 quid. And so yes, awesome little guitars. I don't think my wee view this one, and well, maybe it's a bit newer. This one's an Avion. The bass was a Chivion, a name, not Avion, but a similar sort of exotic, I don't know, is that French or something sounding name. I think maybe my wee V doesn't actually have any name on it. Maybe the truss rod's missing or something, the cover's missing or something like that. But super wee guitar. So rock on, check back later in the week. I'll get a wee jam thing going where I've learnt a little bit more how to play it. Catch you later.